Imagine spending an entire decade building a brand around progressive male allyship, only to watch that reputation collide with public outrage over a single VIP photo with Chris Brown. When RM and J-Hope were spotted backstage, the internet did not just react, it pulled up every single receipt. The timing could not be more polarizing. We are talking about alleged fractured alliances with longtime collaborator Megan Thee Stallion, alongside an international human rights group officially removing RM from their honor roll of male role models. For a global act whose core demographic is overwhelmingly female, public sentiment shifted from confusion to an absolute firestorm within hours. As social media debates explode over accountability versus performative allyship, the silence from their camp is speaking volumes. The internet has officially entered the chat, and the timeline is officially split. Welcome back to the channel. Picture this, a crowded VIP lounge, flashes going off, and two BTS members grinning ear to ear right next to Chris Brown. To a casual listener scrolling by, it probably looked like standard pop star networking. But across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, the reaction was immediate whiplash. Chris Brown does not just carry baggage. He has a documented, decade-long record of felony assault, domestic violence, restraining orders, and legal chaos that mainstream culture has never managed to bury. When members of the biggest boy band on the planet willingly link their faces to someone with that exact rap sheet, it crashes directly into years of carefully curated PR. Commentators immediately framed the picture as a loud, tone-deaf endorsement. In top-tier global celebrity culture, every handshake is an active brand statement. That single snapshot set off a massive chain reaction, putting the entire progressive reputation BTS spent years building on the line. The stakes exploded because of one specific name deeply woven into BTS history: Megan Thee Stallion. The contradiction here is impossible to ignore. Throughout that entire criminal trial, Chris Brown publicly threw his support behind the Free Tory campaign, directly amplifying an online smear machine that mocked Megan's real-world trauma. When photos dropped of RM and J-Hope happily embracing Brown backstage, the timeline lit up with rumors that Megan had quietly unfollowed both members. Open-source data shows it remains unconfirmed whether Megan ever followed their personal accounts to begin with. Still, the sheer speed of that viral rumor proved just how deep the betrayal felt to everyday listeners. In the court of public opinion, cozying up to the vocal supporter of a man convicted of shooting your female collaborator is impossible to defend. How does an artist navigate working closely with a female peer, while privately validating the very circle that publicly ridiculed her trauma? The cultural tension on that dynamic is palpable. And just when Stan Twitter thought the storm was contained, a massive international organization dropped a bomb nobody saw coming. And then came the institutional killshot. The Pixel Project, a global human rights group dedicated to ending violence against women, stepped into the conversation with a scathing official statement. Back in 2024, the organization officially named RM to their 5th honor roll as one of 16 global male role models, celebrating his public efforts to confront misogyny in South Korea's deeply patriarchal landscape. The NGO did not just freeze his title. They went back into their archives and revised their Father's Day 2025 op-ed, completely erasing Kim Nam-joon as an approved case study for male allyship. Their statement cut straight through standard PR deflections. Intent does not erase real-world impact. By sharing a platform with an abuser, global figures actively normalize violent behavior to millions of young fans. This was no longer messy stan fighting. A legitimate international rights group publicly pulled an idol's progressive credentials, turning a quick photo op into an institutional disaster. If you appreciate deep dives that cut through the PR spin to hold your favorite celebrities truly accountable, hit that subscribe button right now before we expose what happened behind the scenes next. What makes this entire controversy so telling is the deafening silence that followed. The hypocrisy cuts deep when you trace RM's actual paper trail. Back in 2016, facing early criticism over certain lyrics, RM took the unprecedented step of publicly consulting women's studies professors to purge misogynistic tropes from his discography. That move laid the very foundation for his brand as a self-aware, intellectual ally. Yet, as weeks passed without a single word of acknowledgement, that carefully built persona fell under intense skepticism. The silence? Deafening. Media analysts pointed out that big hit music and both artists deliberately defaulted to a strict no-comment crisis strategy. They calculated that protecting the insulated commercial bubble of the fandom was far safer than offering a public apology to Western advocacy groups. But when a brand generates massive revenue from an audience dominated by young women, going completely radio silent while those same fans express genuine heartbreak feels performative in the worst way. Make it make sense. If personal growth is only promoted to sell albums and tour tickets, the audience will eventually see right through the act. The mental gymnastics on the timeline were Olympic level. Critics fired back immediately. RM and J-Hope are seasoned 32-year-old industry veterans who understand international media optics inside and out. You cannot cash in on global prestige, deliver historic speeches on self-empowerment at the United Nations, and profit off progressive aesthetics, only to claim cultural ignorance the moment you get caught standing next to a toxic figure. Operating on the global stage comes with a baseline expectation of social awareness. At what point does shielding a global idol from basic accountability cross the line into outright excusing performative allyship? It really makes you reconsider where the boundary between fandom loyalty and personal principles actually lies. At this point, the timeline is not just dissecting a single backstage photo. It is putting the entire business model of curated celebrity allyship on trial. The illusion of the socially conscious pop icon shatters fast when private choices directly contradict years of high-minded public messaging. Modern audiences are no longer willing to look the other way while corporate PR machines wait for the dust to settle before kicking off the next comeback rollout. The digital receipts are archived, the human rights statements are on the permanent record, and the collective sentiment across X, TikTok, and Reddit has fundamentally shifted. Watching a decade of carefully engineered feminist branding unravel over a momentary backstage photo with an unapologetic abuser is a masterclass in reputation mismanagement. It proves that no matter how polished an influencer's public persona is, true brand authenticity always comes down to who you choose to stand next to when the stage lights go down. The reality check here is simple. In the modern influencer economy, social consciousness is often treated as a seasonal marketing campaign rather than a lived set of values. Hit subscribe if you're officially done letting celebrity hypocrisy get a free pass. When global icons realize their core audience will defend them unconditionally, accountability becomes entirely optional, leaving us to wonder whether the enlightened idol persona was ever real to begin with. Does selective blindness from our favorite celebrities get a pass just because the music is good? Or have we finally reached the expiration date on performative allyship? Drop your take down in the comments, hit that like button, and see you in the next one.